but she said, it's so funny because I asked, who would you choose for me? She said the same thing Sarai said. I said, wow. She's like, because he's more fun. I said, but at the same time, there's still certain things that I can see that obviously nobody else can see.
Right. What is this hair over here? Why does this look like this? Goodness. Jesus Christ.
Let me do this because the last 2 weeks I forgot to share this. What's the after effect?
Yeah. Yeah. It's just been a thing.
So, but I just know, like, the way I'm choosing to deal with these people is good.
I can definitely taste that Jack.
It's not my focus anymore. It's that, and it hadn't been my focus for the entire year. So I'm just like, that in itself just made me happy.
Right, like just bring it back. Bring it back.
I'm like, this is crazy, and I'm like, even over this whole year, you know, it's been plenty of people that we done met and numbers that I've gotten. But I said, I have no desire to deal with none of these people.
but that's how I was, and that's what I was like. Okay, you know, so it's just
crazy.
like, okay, because
wow,
if
it just makes me proud though, because I know where I came from.
Yeah.
Hey y'all see we already in mid-conversation about a whole other stuff.
I'm in the mood to something up. Yeah.
But yeah, great conversations all day. Great conversations all day.
Hey y'all, it's Tuesday. We back. We got wine. We growing. This week, we're actually drinking.
Girl, I thought you said this. The way you said it sounded like this week we're growing. We're actually growing this week.
Not so much last week, but this
it's
week.
only Tuesday, and I had a few epiphanies today. So
on a Tuesday.
Oh, that's wow. When did that even come out? And I actually was trying to see if I was gonna wear my blue one.
Yeah, I was like, dang, I just wore a plaid shirt last week. I'm like, it's okay.
Yeah, and it was
whatever.
a different color.
It was
that was last week.
Yeah, I wore the brown one. Why am I feeling on myself?
You're feeling yourself.
Woo, feeling myself. I'm feeling myself. I'm feeling my Definitely got to play that. Put that in the replay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey y'all.
Okay, let's get it going. What? Oh, hey y'all. Welcome back. I'm Ken.
I'm Kay.
She's Kay. I'm Ken, and this is Wine and Grow. We wine when we grow. When we grow, we need wine. So we're back with another episode. Today we're talking about what we deserve, cause life be lifing, and when you just get to a point where you just like, that's mine. I want it. I want it now. I earned that. That's this. That's just where I'm at. But like, let's check in. How you feeling?
Today.
Okay.
I am.
Today
I am feeling fine, girl. Because yesterday I was tad, okay? Because we be coming off these heavy weekends, and Lordy be.
I was like, dang, maybe we should have did this on a Wednesday. Because it be seeming like it comes so fast from the weekend.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It'd be so heavy. But it was a great weekend. But today I was rejuvenated and, you know, felt good. Yeah. Even though it rained all day.
Yeah. Needed that too. It's been a good day. But yeah, we had a very busy weekend. I know I did. But it was good. And today but it's been a good work week so far.
And it's only Tuesday.
It's only Tuesday. You know, but we're here. It's been, I went to therapy yesterday. I got therapized. You know, I didn't sit there as long as I usually do, though. I was tired, though. I was tired. And I had to braid hair last night, so I was just like, okay, let's just get this over with so that I can go and get ready for this and get this over with, and then I can go to sleep. That's all I was thinking about, you know. So, thank God she didn't want any small braids. So I was able to get her done in 3 hours.
Ooh,
and I was sleep by. She got some box braids, some knowledge. Yeah. Okay. Want to draw? Draw 4. No, I'm kidding. Y'all want to come to a game night on Sunday? Yeah.
You want to come to a game night? DM us. So.
Let's do a game night.
I'm scared.
Ooh. I like that. I like it.
Ooh, I actually like this one.
Okay.
Because I just did this last week.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. You want to go first?
On a scale from 1 to 10, how happy are you? Explain. On a scale of 1 to 10, and there's actual moments, I'm a 10.
Okay.
I'm very happy. Well, I would say I'm a 9. I'm gonna say I'm a 9. Because I'm not really, it's nothing that I'm really not, like, it's not really going well. You know, like, so, like, you know, today I'm a 9. You know, there's days when I'm lower, you know, because I miss my mama and stuff like that. But most of the time, like, this year, I've been on a high. So, and I think it's mostly because this is the year I realize I deserve. And, like, and I'm like, okay, I'm going after stuff, you know, I'm really being honest with myself about what I want, what I don't want, and I'm honoring that, which we just talked about last week, and it makes me happy. It makes me happy to really, you know, really be working towards more of my authentic self. Just makes me very happy.
Yeah. Overall, I would say I'm about a 8, because of course recently there's been some things, but you know, I know stuff happens, but overall my year has, and just like I was talking about freedom, like I've been myself, my free self, just enjoying life as just me, with just me and, you know, the people around me, but not being attached to somebody like that. So I think that, and just enjoying my space and the company that I'm around and the new people that I'm meeting and everything. So I think I'm about an 8.5, because it's always gonna be something. For sure.
And that's why I was like 10, you know, because it is always something, you know, but it's like, I'm also happy, you know, and I don't want to downplay that.
Yeah. Describe your relationship with your parent of the opposite sex. How has this relationship shaped how you treat potential mates?
Dang. And we would both be women to talk about this.
The relationship that I have with my dad is, right now, we are in a great space, I would say. It's been a working relationship because we just, like, recently reconnected about 2 years ago, 2019. When was that retreat? 2019?
I think so.
And that was really what kicked it off. But I think that it's more than, it's, although I did not have him as I may have wanted when I was a kid, I feel like I actually have him in that way now, although I'm an adult. And it's still things that I could have gotten from him when I was a kid, but to me now that don't matter, because you're here and there's still things that I'm learning about the history and who he was, and, you know, just being able to have somebody else to talk to outside of my mom, that, and I don't want to say my mom is not like me, but I feel like I told my dad that my parents split right down the middle. So to have the other side of me, the more outgoing side of me, be able to speak to that person, it feels really good. It feels really good. But I think that when the way it shows up in my relationships is abandoning people. Which I had to realize that that's what I would be doing to people. And I'm just like, dang.
Yeah. That's a hard pill to swallow.
Yeah.
Swallow.
But
swallow.
How you move this down? You know, I always
just scroll. Just do this. Track that.
Oh.
Ooh, shoot. Scroll it all the way down. What cards are these?
Tonight, let's talk. Is that what it is?
Yep, tonight, let's talk. Conversation. Date night edition.
Yeah. But y'all, like, my dad asked me a set of questions a couple weeks ago. 7 questions, y'all, and he said he got more than enough to be able to send to me, but he just sending them over time. And those questions, you know, these are the questions that he had to end up asking just to figure out, I guess, to figure out who I was and how we can like further our relationship. And I actually did enjoy trying to answer those because it makes you think. But it's thinking about, it had almost made me think about who I wanted him to be when I was a kid, and I couldn't picture that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So,
and when you had asked me, I was like, it's crazy, because like she had like asked me like how do I think my life would be different if I had my dad, basically. Like,
so if so the people who have parents that are either absent or, you know, or you just didn't, who are absent or hadn't been as present, how do you think your life would be if they had showed up more when you were younger?
Yeah.
Do you think that you would have made different decisions had they been there? Or do you think your life would be the same?
Yeah. But like thinking about it in that card, like, well, like my relationship with my dad is it's cool. You know, I do wish, you know, like that we could be closer, but I, you know, like we were like, even when you asked me that question, it's like I never felt the absence of my father, even when he was absent, because he always, hey girl, he always was there in some type of a way, you know, like when he was like not incarcerated, you know, coming to pick us up, bringing us food, you know, just always being there, you know, riding us in the car. Like me and Titi were just talking about this too. Like we used to go to the corner store with our dad and stuff like that. And then like even when he was in jail, like he made sure it was somebody on the outside always looking out for us, like making sure I had a ride to work. Like he was doing stuff for us in jail that my mom wasn't even doing, and she was there with us. It was crazy, you know. Like, and growing up, you know, like, and my dad, me and Titi had to tell my dad this because like it's crazy how your parents just have this mentality that the opposite parent is your favorite parent. And we like, Dad, you were always our favorite. Low key, you know, like it was because we didn't live with you, so you didn't have to really discipline us. Like it was just a lot of different things that just played, you know, part in, you know, like why we would have said he was our favorite back then, you know. But yeah, it's like I didn't really have an absence of him. So, but because my dad was not a full-time father, like living in the house, I do feel like that affected my life, obviously, in a lot of ways, you know, not having someone show me how a man is supposed to treat me, not having a man, you know, there to take care of me regularly, you know. So now, like, just looking at myself now as an adult woman and in relationships, I'm very independent. You know, it's either I'm very independent, like I'm going to do these things on my own, or I'm either very needy and I need a man to be like love for me, just love me, you know. And even like just in relationships, period. And that doesn't just come from my dad, like that just comes from my relationship with my parents, like of me just wanting them, desiring them more, like just to be like I always tell people this, like, because I broke down some of my childhood trauma a long time ago. Like I knew I had abandonment issues of just like what, you know, like one, and even like performing for people's love. Like, okay, like I was always a good student, you know, I always felt like I was, you know, never gave them any issues or trouble. So I felt like, you know, this will make them be here more. This will make them show up and stuff like that. But like, they were just who they are, you know, and nothing I could do could change that, you know. So that was hard, you know, as a, you know, like realizing that as an adult, that realizing that's what I was doing as a child. What the heck is going on? Okay. Maybe my mama don't like me talking about her. She be making Instagram go crazy. Oh, yeah, it is a phone call. Okay, but I can't talk, so bye.
Oh, maybe I did that last time. We're going to have to close it out on this end.
Exactly.
Sorry, y'all.
I'm going to put my phone on Do Not Disturb. I'm going to have to put it on D&D. Where is it?
Girl.
What?
It was our face.
Oh.
I screenshotted it.
Because now I have to restart this.
Y'all.
And I'll share. And then I'll come back. And
I'm actually going to go on.
Okay.
I've been trying to watch the Instagram, but
Yeah.
Facebook. So
sorry guys.
See ourselves on Facebook, and I could just watch the comments from here.
We had some technical difficulties on Instagram, so we had to restart that.
Look how young y'all look.
Wow. That's so nice.
Kids.
Just the whole thing. But yeah, so that's what that is. Like, I definitely, daddy issues are real. Why am I talking so crazy today? But yeah.
Alexandria said, I'm really learning that people are just who they are. It's not always what we're doing or not doing.
Exactly. And I mean, that's just what we have to learn. That's what I learned. And that's something that I really live by now. It's just like never, like just learning not to take things personally. Like it almost never has anything to do with you about why somebody's treating you the way that they're treating you. It always has something to do with them, though. So even when you think about if you did something to somebody, the way that they respond is their response. It still has something to do with you. Even if you did something, they still control their response. So if you really just think about stuff like that, that's just
their environment raised them, y'all.
Yeah,
and that goes for all of us, though. So how we respond to things is based off of how we grew up. So
yeah. Yeah. So going, and it's so crazy. Like, we low key be pulling cards that be like reflective of the topic, and that's so like awesome to me. But like, because when I think about, and like, I've really been like looking forward to talking about this because like even listening to Know For Sure this week, well, for last week, this week, hearing Just Hilarious' story, and I'm like thinking about like all of the things that I've been through that people really don't know. And people think they know, like, what I've been through, and you really don't know what I've been through, then you will, like, it'd be like, damn, like, you really are amazing. Like, you really have triumphed, like, and just made it. But I think a lot of times we overshadow those things in our lives, like the different things we went through, because we don't want to look like a victim. I know that's for me, for sure.
I don't talk a lot.
Exactly. I don't talk a lot about things that I've went through, because I don't want to be victimized. I don't want to be looked at like, oh, I'm sorry for you, like, and it's different stuff like that. So it was just like, okay, I made it. Everybody can make it, but low key, everybody can't make it. Everybody don't make it,
and that'd be so.
And when we speak out on different things, we do help somebody make it, because people out here really think that they can't make it through things, and you can, So when I think about this season, right, of us, we're talking about what we deserve. I know, like, that I've really worked very hard to get to this space of where I am like comfortable in my singleness. I'm comfortable financially. I'm comfortable in my house where I live, how it looks, what's in here. Like just comfortable. And I think about in my career, like different stuff, like different things. Like I remember days when I would journal about this space, being in this space. I would journal about this, So it's like, but now I'm journaling about the next space. So really just I love that we do this, because it really just helps me take a moment to just reflect on the fact that I haven't always been here, but I know I'm still growing and things are going to change. But just learning to appreciate this moment and just to talk about the gratefulness of it is just everything, So
yeah, when I was listening to Know For Sure today, it was about they were just actually talking about the entire group, they whole little but just Megan was just in a space of, she was like, she's always the person that's doing, she was really assisting, serving, and then she ended up having somebody that was able to do it for her. And she was like, and it's really hard for her because it's really stripping her ego all the way, removing that pride and everything. And I was like, it's just telling you to just be. Exactly. And the girl said it right after I said it, and I'm like, listen, because that's just the space. Like, I cannot control everything. And in my mind, because it's just me, I'm trying to do this. Like, I'm trying to do everything, but I don't have control over all this stuff. I don't have control over the way people react to me. I don't have control over those things. Just be. Just flow with everything that's going. And if if it's not right for you, you're going to know that. But stuff gonna work out as it should. No resistance. Just be. Just be. To be able to be present. And I think that's what we end up missing a lot of things because we're not doing that. So it's just be in the moment, enjoy this moment, enjoy the freedom that you have to do the things that you can, because a lot of people cannot do that.
Yeah. Because this is like, again, like even this moment was a place that you prayed for before. Mm-hmm. Or even this moment is a place that somebody else is praying to be in. You know, so really just learning to be grateful, like, because and like really just acknowledging that, because that's what I'm saying, like, I deserve this, you know. And it's like, remember when we was just talking about this at NIU, when I was like, why do people keep saying, oh, I'm proud of you, like people keep saying this stuff to me, and I'm like, what are they talking about? And I'm like, what are they talking about? And I talked to my mentor a couple weeks ago, and she was saying the same. She was like, Kenyatta, she was like you the shit, but you need to know that, like, she didn't cuss because she don't cuss. But you know, like, but you need to know that. And it's like, I tried, like, my whole thing is being humble, you know, like cockiness and being humble and stuff like that. Like, I just feel like I don't want to lose anything, because I feel like I'm out here, you know, like, I know I got this, I did that,
talk
you know, like,
shit,
and you said that to me before, because I'm like, I like, we wanted ready to make a status, like, ooh, this blah blah blah, and I'm like, yeah, no, I ain't doing that.
Like, post that shit,
like this,
post that shit, because let these motherfuckers know. Sorry, but let these people know who you are. You done had enough humble pie.
Oh, dang. We took the bottle over there. We drinking Reunity raspberry.
Raspberry, yeah.
Yep. But yeah, because that's what I'm saying. Like, I really, like, and that's why I said, like, I really downplay myself. Yeah, she asked. So somebody asked what wine we're drinking, and we didn't drink any wine last week. I don't think we did this last week. But this is what we're drinking, the raspberry Reunity down here. This is the wine of the week. And we also got a shot of Jack in it. Don't lie.
Y'all, I don't know if y'all saw the other episode where we had that. It got real.
But yeah, like, so, like, yeah, but like my career, like, literally, I remember making $8 an hour, you know, and it not really mattering back then, but I also remember being in a place where I was making, like, just making like $11, like, what, like, how much was I making out of college? Like, I think like 13, 14, like, really low with a bachelor's degree. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm working in this job, not even knowing, because it's more than what you know, like, everything, I always grew in the pay rate. Whenever I switched the job, my pay got higher, but it was always, you know, just making enough, you know, like, so, like, going, like, literally living paycheck to paycheck, you know, and, like, and having, you know, like, just not really knowing what was going on, to being in a place, like, where I know, like, and there's still moments where I'm like, okay, I gotta, you know, wait till next check or whatever, you know, like, I'll get, but that be out of my own ignorance, you know, like, sometimes I just overspend, because now I have more money than that I've had ever, you know, so it's like, so I'll just blow it, so now I gotta just learn how to discipline myself financially, but it's like, I'm like, just be proud of that. You know, just be proud of where you come from. Like, just be proud of, like, you know, it's hard to be, like, sometimes to be, like, happy and single, because some people just feel like, well, you should, you know, be wanting to be with somebody, you know, like, but no, I'm happy and single. I'm enjoying myself, you know, like, I'm loving on me, but you know what I do know that I deserve after this is for somebody to love me, you know, like, I'm ready for that, like, just to be, like, I am tired of taking care of myself. I'm gonna just put that out there, like, I'm tired of doing it all myself, like, I am ready to I deserve a partner who, you know, is going to come in with his shit, and we gonna do this together, you know, like, that's just where I am at with that. Like, I'm tired of, you know, being with people that I'm trying to help build. You know, like, just done with that. You know, like, it's different if we working together on something, but literally, like, and this was on the show today too. It's just like, you get tired of trying to teach people. That's not my job. They just said that too. Yeah. But, like, you know, on the TV show, Sisters, they said that. Because that's not, why is it my job to teach you anything? Yeah. Like, so you didn't have a parent or anybody to teach you that? Like, but that's not my fault. Like, so it's just like knowing that I don't deserve that. To have to be in a position where I have to teach a man how to love me, to teach a boss how to talk to me. Like, I don't have to be here. I don't have to deal with that. You know, like, bye. Because, like, again, you go through so much, you know, and I kind of want to be vulnerable. I don't know. Because I don't want to cry. I don't want to cry.
Yeah, listen, you know I don't be crying in front of people, and I done bawled a few times on this stage. Hey, Brittany girl.
Hey, Brittany. But just like, okay, like, again, coming from a space, from a family where I literally chased love, chased attention, and I feel like I literally did that through relationships. I am sick of it. I'm tired. And to know, like, to be such a good person, though. Like, literally, my heart is to serve, to love. Like, literally. And it's like, and it is not that I feel like people take advantage of it, but people take advantage of it. You know, when they know that you're a good person, they try you. You know, and it's like, and I am a very humble person. I'm a very much like, not a conflict person at all either. You know, like, I'm just like, okay, like, I'll deal with a lot of stuff. You know, and that in itself has given me the tenacity that I have, because I just, like, my pain tolerance is so high. You know, how people didn't even know how to be here for me during my grief, because they like, we ain't never seen you like this. You know, like, because I just know, I just maneuver through things, you know. It's like, but why? It's like, it's like really learning how to just need people. You know, because, and be in that without trying to make myself feel like reject people and feeling like I don't need nobody. You know, like, because I didn't have that. You know, so now I'm just like, I deserve. Yeah. Okay. Listen. So.
Man, I definitely deserve the space that I'm in, and I was just telling her, like, I deserve the freedom that I have, because a couple years ago I did not have this. The freedom to make as much as I want to make, the freedom to move how I want to move. It's always been me and somebody, and not just me.
Yeah.
And it's not that anymore. It's me. My sole focus is me. So, and I was just thinking about that too. I'm like, this year I titled alignment, and it is alignment still for me, because I'm aligning with myself of who I really am and who I want to be. Like, some of the things this year has really made me feel like I'm back in the space of, remember I said I would go back to the age of 24 because I was living in Atlanta and I would do things different. That's the feeling I have right now. Yeah, and I was so free then, and I feel that now, but I'm more aware of myself and the things that I did then and now to be able to do things different, because I was not in this space 2 years ago. And to even saw a journal and just was like, wow, like, I'm a whole different person than I was 2 years ago. And even if you were to if you know me and you were to have a conversation with me now, you would know that. So I applaud myself for even making it this far, because again, people don't make it this far.
And that's what I'm saying, like, just taking a moment to just say, Kenyatta, I'm proud of you. Like, just looking in the mirror, and I'm like, and I'm dumb, Kenyatta, I'm proud of you, because I can see I'm looking at myself, like, because you, like, there are so many times I could have gave up, or life could have just took me out from the time I was an infant. Life could have took me out, from drugs to abuse, you know, like, sexual abuse, physical abuse, emotional abuse, you know, to poverty. Like, so many different things could have took me out, but it didn't. Just recently losing my mama, becoming a teen mom, you know, like, things should have taken me out, but it didn't. And why? One, because I have a purpose here, and two, I am grateful to God for the tenacity and determination that he has put inside of me. Because again, I know that there are people who have my story, a similar story to mine, and did not make it.
Yeah.
They did not make it.
They had a mental capacity.
They did not.
Like,
yes.
And that's just so real. And we just think, and in my mind, I be like, if, like, you can do this. Like, I don't understand why you can't. Like, if I did it, you could do it. If they did it, you could do it. It's just you have to put yourself in that mindset to get the stuff done.
And so that's what I'm saying. And that's one thing I was gonna post, like, because I'm like, I was feeling like people like, okay, like Kenyatta is always outside, you know, like partying, just, you know, traveling. Like, okay, like I'm like, do you think I'm like? I was asking her, like, am I sharing like too much? You know, like. You know, like, am I partying too much? Like, no. Like, that's just what I'm choosing to share. But y'all don't see me getting up in the morning and doing my meditation. You don't see me, you know, when I'm sitting here working, you know, or whatever, walking my dog, going to the gym, cooking. Like, y'all don't see the background of everything, you know. So, you getting the highlight reel. Me celebrating everything. Like, even the fact that this year is a lot less for me. And being okay with that, because the work that I'm doing is a lot less. Like, it's less.
Less is more, though.
Less is more. You know, like, because but I got so used to doing so much all of the time. So being in a position now where life is just going a lot less, you know, of tick, 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 tick. You know, like, it's I deserve this because I worked so hard. Like, I was always doing so many things at one time. So to just be in a space where I am not juggling five things at one time, where I'm just saying, okay, this is my focus. This is what I'm going to focus on, and being okay with that. You know?
Yep.
Yeah.
Test for your testimony.
Yeah.
So I'm really truly loving this space that I'm in. My main focus is me. And as long as I focus on me, I was listening to another podcast today because I listened to like 3 podcasts today, and last week I only listened to one, y'all. So I think it's like I'm gradually getting back into, because I had been slacking on like my meditation and my yoga, but now I feel like I'm slowly getting back into all of this because, like I said, I listened to 3 podcasts today, back to back. It wasn't no music. I'm like,
I've been watching Sisters
today,
and I've been watching that.
Tall girl, I've been watching that.
I've been watching it.
But she was saying, I think I said this before, but she was like, it was something about if you don't value yourself. No. First of all, I wrote it in my notes, y'all. Give me 1 second. Because I had to make sure I remembered this. Girl, I got a whole thing about stuff that I just be thinking of, affirmation stuff.
Yeah,
like,
me too.
Oh, it says if I'm putting you first, then there's no way you're getting the best version of me.
Period.
So my focus
has to be you.
I am my first and main priority.
Yep.
I will, if I'm good, my kids gonna be good, my finances gonna be good, my everything is going to be good. So that's just what my focus is.
Yeah.
My focus is me and aligning with the true version of myself that I know that I am and meant to be.
Yeah. So wherever you are in life, as long as it's not where you were, you deserve that. Be grateful for that and applaud yourself for that. Because it's not about how far you go, how fast you go. It's about that you go. Just every step matters. So just take the step and then and just praise yourself in that moment for taking that step. You know, like, you have to just be like, okay, you know what? Today, you know, this week, say, you know, it's people out there who trying to work on losing weight and stuff, like different things like that. Okay. Usually you just laying in bed every day. Today, I got up and went on my couch.
Applaud yourself, man.
Great job.
You did it.
You did it. I'm that bitch. Or I'm that nigga. Whichever you want to be.
Your first step.
Know. But you did it. You did it. You know, so celebrating you. That's just where I'm getting at. It's just really like celebrating me and being okay with that. Because we work hard. You know? Everybody ain't got it easy.
Do check-ins with yourselves. Like, just check in. See where you were. If it's 6 months, a month ago, do a check-in every 30 days. And just start going further out each time you go. To know, like, make small goals for yourself. Yeah, make small goals for yourself. Give yourself 30 days. Yep. After that, give yourself 60 days. Like, so, and start doing check-ins with yourself to see where you are, where you came from, and where you could be. It's, man, and I'm not gonna say it is that simple, But of course, it's harder when your mind is not prepared for it. That's what makes it hard. We have to get our mind prepared for something like that. And a lot of people don't even know where to start. So that is what makes it hard. It is about starting, but how do you start? What do you think is the first step for you to get started?
Yeah. So when y'all see me out here living my life, know it's a reason.
I ain't going back and forth with these niggas.
I am living this life.
It ain't even just men. I ain't going back and forth with none of you niggas.
Like, I deserve it. I deserve it. I worked so hard. Like, I fought so hard. Like, all those days in school, being up all late with the baby. Just deserve it. Okay?
Girl. Or, I had to
my girl, I'll be here for it.
Man,
Thank you.
I had to get up. Thank you. I told you I got up at 6:30 to leave the other day. And I was just like, this is wild because I'm out here trying to live my life, but then I gotta go be a parent at 6:30.
Gotta be a whole adult. And that's what today was for me. Like, I was literally being an adult. I got up, took my car to the auto shop, did some laundry, cooked dinner, worked. I'm like, dang, this has been a real adult day. Ain't no just sitting down watch TV today.
Man.
But that's why we about to go out to a comedy show after this. But that's how we deserve moments like, because you know what, today I did blah, 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 blah. So tonight I'm going to enjoy myself.
And I told her,
I deserve it.
For me to be like, if I need it, in which I would just love to go to the comedy show, but like I like positive what did I say it was? Positive reliefs. Temporary reliefs, but they're positive. So this would be a positive relief for me.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yep.
So.
Yep. I am looking forward to skating this week too.
Yeah.
Yes. Because I think that's definitely going to be a positive release.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Let's wrap this up with another card.
How would you describe your spending habits? I need more money.
Wow.
Baby, let me tell you something.
My money.
So, I'm a spender. I like to do stuff at Red Star. There he is. In Matson.
Oh, yeah. Red Star in Matson.
Spend it, get it right back. That's just the way my mind go.
And they do it every week on Tuesdays. If you're not able to make it, they do it every week on Tuesdays.
My mind, when it comes to spending, is spend it and get it right back.
Yeah.
That's just how I feel. I don't want to live. And although those times may come, because I know that my spending can get a little crazy. And I can be disciplined. I have been. But this has been my season to just live my life how I choose to live. And although there may be repercussions from that, we dealing with that. Like, I can't stop living, y'all. Yeah. I can't stop living. Like, this is what I'm here for.
You know what?
I have to enjoy this.
Right. And like, losing my mom even changed my outlook on spending money. Like,
it's get it right back.
Loss changes your view on everything. Like, cause I just really, you hear this all the time. Like, well, you can't take it with you. Literally, you can't take it with you. So it's, and it's not that I'm not setting myself up. Like, I'm not saving and stuff like that, because so my spending habits are actually responsible. Like, I do have, moments where I overspend for the budget that I have set aside for it. However, all my bills are paid. Like, I put money aside for saving. So everything. So my business is taken care of first. I just overspend on that casual spending money.
Yeah,
that's where it's like, okay, now I'm taking from here to try to do this. But I also realized this week, and I deserve this. Like, I'm like, dang, I only borrow money from myself, and that's a blessing. Like, I'm like, okay, I need this. You know what? I'm got it over here, so let me just grab it and put it back.
Yeah.
I remember I used to go to, to pay, to go get loans and stuff like that from the cash checker, whatever they are, payday loan places, like, and stuff like that. Like, I'm like, now I'm just borrowing the money for myself.
Excuse me.
So that's a blessing, you know? But my spending habits are pretty good, because I'm a budgeter. And like, especially now when I'm getting paid once a month, You know, like I literally have to budget. And that's what I be trying to tell people because, you know, like, you know, and I look out for my people when I can. Mm-hmm. But when I say I don't have it, I don't have it. Mm-hmm. Because typically I'm budgeting and I'm not budgeting for people to borrow money from me. Yeah. So I'm not saying, oh, let me put this to the side just in case somebody else needs something. No, mm-hmm. I'm budgeting for myself and my son, you know, like in my, you know, so in my business that I have to handle. Mm-hmm. You know, everything else is just like, okay, if I happen to have it, but I'm not just putting money to the side so that I can be like, okay, this is just in case somebody else needs something. No. Yeah. You know, but I always look out where I can. Yeah. You know. So, and then I still got my side hustles, you know, like braiding hair. My journal still makes money for me in my sleep. Here and there, I get a little royalty payments, and I'm grateful for that. You know, like, so, but yeah. And even when I was making less money, I had the same habits. You know, mm-hmm. like, I always made sure my business was handled first. Mm-hmm. You know, like, and then I would go and do whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. What's your thoughts on casual sex? Sex when not in an official relationship.
I'm doing it. I'm not. Listen, I'm not.
She said, "I'm doing it
because we all got desires, and everybody is different. But I've gone through that period already of where I just chose to not deal with anybody.
I was literally just talking about this earlier.
Yeah, I've done that, and I am okay with having casual sex.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm just out here doing random people or anything. Yeah. Like, so.
Yeah. So.
I'm doing it.
I'm doing it.
Because
Darius says, before we keep talking about that, he says, I'm a saver. I always think what can happen in the future. And with this economy and inflation, I try to hold on to everything. But I may splurge on some J's or jewelry. Okay.
But see, that's what you like. And that's okay, though. That is okay.
And Khadijah said, listen, I'm doing it. Period. I be getting, and I was talking to my spiritual mentor about this, you know, like, because, you know, like everybody has their different places in spirit, you know, in their spirit of like where they can do and what they can do. Like God convicts everybody in different areas. And sex is not an area where God has convicted me. However, God convicts me when I, you know, if I'm being like overly sexually active or like if I'm, you know, I feel comfortable having sex in a relationship, but it's when I'm having casual sex that I mostly feel convicted. Mm-hmm. So, although I do it, I've done it. Mm-hmm. I don't like you. I'm not just casually doing it. Yeah. Right. It's like a particular person. So yeah.
If you want to pay me to leave, then it's still casual.
Okay.
Girl.
No, that's not casual. That's a
transaction.
A transaction.
Girl. No,
but
I don't have no conviction in that area.
So earlier somebody asked me, mm-hmm. He said, basically, am I honest about my body count? Mm-hmm. He's like, do you feel like that matters? And are you honest about it? I was like, why would it not be?
But nobody asks that question.
And he wasn't asking to like ask me, mm-hmm. like, but just more so of a to him he said it's not really the body count, like it's not not that you have a body count that matters. It's the integrity. Like, are you going to be honest about it?
Oh.
And I said, I get that. You know, like, because I feel like when you get to a certain age, that doesn't matter because it's like almost expected. And not that I'm out here with a high body count. Right. Put that out there. But, like, I mean, it's like you've gone through relationships, you know, unless you've been with the same person since high school, you know, it's like, okay, like casual sex, different stuff like that, like the body count is going to. So, I mean, I'm not asking nobody their body count.
I don't care.
I don't care.
I don't care.
Are you safe? Yeah. You know, whatever, you know, like, have you, you know, what's the situation like when we start having sex? Mm-hmm. You know, like, you know, so.
That's all I care about.
Exactly.
As long as you are keeping us safe
mm-hmm.
and vice versa. Mm-hmm. But, you know, that's all it is.
Yeah.
But also, again, ain't nobody out here doing, I'm not out here doing hella motherfuckers. So,
yeah.
It's just like, you know.
Shout out to the maintenance man.
Girl.
But yeah.
What's wrong with us?
Yeah. I ain't know that's how that girl look.
Girl, I'm going to tell you how she used to look, though. I'm going to show you how she used to look.
Okay. Well, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this episode.
I just might ask to see that.
My chart. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's that. Yeah, for the health Yeah, no. Go ahead, cuz. I might need to see that. Let me see that. Log into your My Chart. Let me see those results. Yeah. Okay. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed this conversation with Ken and Kay.
What the red mean?
I think that's just high. You know, that means good. Because we never seen that before.
Yeah,
and I think we have had a lot of interactions, like, in this episode.
Yeah, we seeing metrics and stuff. And, you know, Facebook never used to show this.
Yeah.
So...
get a little distracted.
Yeah, sorry. Darius did
I don't know.
Earlier.
I kind of feel like I want to ask. Do you want to do another one?
That's fine.
Yeah, I feel like those
what
are
time
good.
should start?
I think 8.
Oh, okay.
We can do it one more.
Far.
Yeah.
So. Every time you pull off the top, I just be nervous about
what
I'm going to get.
because he at the bottom. Because we putting the ones we did off the bottom.
What you got?
Talking about abortions.
I can answer it.
I mean,
I can answer. Yes, it
is.
Tuesdays at
7. But next week is actually our last episode for this season. And then we're gonna take a little hiatus and we're gonna come back.
Oh, thank you.
Thanks. That's my cousin.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So my question is, when in a relationship, do you feel it's appropriate to have a best friend of the opposite sex? Why or why not? Yeah, I don't care. Because
Ray said, I'm doing it. Now she's like, I don't care.
Because
it's just like, I don't care anything today.
Because it's about the level of trust that you have with that person. And, you know, we all got our intuition that lets us know everything. It's about if you want to listen to it. But if I know that if your friend is, and I can fully see that this is a friend, and it's not making me feel no type of way, I don't care. Y'all probably was friends before me. It's just like the insecurities that I would have. Yep. So it's about me checking that part.
Yeah.
But I don't care. It's your friend.
Cause shout out to my male best friend, hey Clefine.
I think that people realize that opposite sex can be platonic friends.
Yeah.
Everything ain't got to be about sex. Y'all ain't got to try to always figure that out. Like, some people are just friends. So, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, but I agree. Like, I mean, I'm okay with my man having a platonic relationship with a female, because I also feel like it's, too, how that woman handles me matters. Because as women and men, like, we know each other. We know our sex, you know? So you know if somebody is on some other stuff with your person based on their interaction with you most of the time. You know, like, some people can be a little bit, you know, they can show one thing and be doing another, you know. However, everybody ain't that good, you know. So you're going to be able to tell if it's something more than that, you know. So, but I don't think there's anything wrong with it. You, like you said, you got to be able to trust, and just not, you got to check your own insecurities. Because if I have, you know, and I'm not going to expect anything from somebody that I'm not expecting from myself. So I don't want nobody putting those stipulations or regulations on me. So I'm not putting that regulation on anybody else.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Okay, so this one says, I'm going to say you because, you know, so you become pregnant and your significant other approaches you about an abortion. What would be your response?
If it's not my first thought, to be honest, my best bet would be to go ahead and get this going, because that just, if you're coming to me with this, that just lets me know that I'm gonna have to do this by myself, and I don't have that type of time. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. And and I understand the concept of what's happening. I've been there. So so now I who wants to raise a child by themselves? I can't. Like, I'm doing. I ain't gonna say I'm doing it. I now do get help from their dad, but before I was doing it, and it's not the easiest thing. Whether I had a support system, when I go home, it's me and my kids.
Yeah. Thanks, Isaiah. Yeah.
Like, so, and that's just what I think about. But so this person is already telling me that they not gonna be there. That's a sign. I don't have time for this. I don't want to go through the first 9 months, first of all, of a pregnancy alone, and then having to raise this child with just me. I can't do that. And that's the things that I think about now. That's not my life. I am too grown for that. I ain't even gonna say we. I am too grown for that.
Yeah.
So choices got to be made.
Yeah, and and that was actually a situation I went through. Like in real life. Like, I just got real vulnerable.
You heard me say I've been there. So,
I just told y'all my business.
Just like really,
yeah.
like, and I never even thought I would say that on here.
Me either. So now we both said that we've been there.
And I'm so sorry, Mama.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Woo!
But like,
so
it was about, for me, this person wanted me to have it was that, not wanting to raise a baby on my own, but also not wanting to. I'm like, ain't nobody trying to trap you. Like, this ain't that, like, but so this is what we gotta do. This, like, for me, it's just about understanding the reason, the purpose for either person wanting it.
Yeah.
Because if it was on the, because if I wanted it and I'm going to talk to you about it, I would want you to listen to my concerns and why I feel like this is the best decision for me, and while I take into consideration what you feel. So when I considered that, what I was feeling, what he was feeling, it was just the best decision.
Yeah.
And where the relationship was, it was the best decision. So. Yeah.
I can't go into detail about mine, y'all. I can go. You know what? Yes, I can.
We don't really. I ain't even really just go in detail.
No.
I just,
No, but what's so crazy is it's a lot of things that I've been feeling like I've had to speak up on because I've had to hold them in for so long.
But that's what I'm saying. But like, and we don't. But those are the things we have to speak up on.
Yeah.
To give ourselves credit for us being where we are.
Yeah.
Because if people don't know where we come from, they don't understand why this right here is a moment.
Yeah. And I'm going to be fully transparent because we're now talking about this. So again, sorry, Lynn. I have to really throw that out there. But I was young, and I think that had I brought another child into the world, even though I ended up doing it after the fact, but this was me living on my own at this point. Had I brought another child into the world at that age, it would have been so selfish of me. So selfish of me.
That's real.
Because I was not the only person taking care of me. And to have to bring a baby in and have somebody else taking care of your child, and they're already helping you take care of a child that you already have here. They didn't ask for this. So that's my thought. I don't want to be this selfish, knowing that I can't do this on my own.
Yeah. I
have to think about the people around me and how this is going to affect them mentally, financially. So it was a decision that I had to make.
As a man, if I ask a woman for an abortion, that means I don't see a future with you.
Ooh.
And that's very well what the situation was. Yeah. For me. It was just like, this is the end of the road for us.
Yeah.
So what are we even doing?
Yeah.
There's nothing, so that was very well, and that in itself says, why would I even want to have this baby?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Again, because now I'm not trying to trap nobody. I'm not trying to be stressed. Like, because me and my son's father, like, it took us a couple years to get a really good co-parenting mechanism going, but we have a great relationship, and I'm so grateful. Like, I've never had to have him on child support or anything like that, but I couldn't have, I'm not going to get that lucky every time.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to have time after time when I'm out here just being somebody's baby mama.
Yeah.
Like, that's not going to be my story.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Y'all, I'm just thinking about what's going to happen after this video. But it is what it is. I handle it as it comes.
Time to go have some shots.
Man, what? But the dude, at that time, when I told him about it, it was just so weird. Like, he talked to his sister and his sister talking about it was no way that I could be pregnant and this, that, and third. And I'm looking at him, I said, okay.
Oh, okay. Because I'm lying. Okay.
All right. So the next day he calls me and he was like, so are you pregnant? Because I told him I would just take a test later, which I already took one. I'm like, I don't got to pee now. So because you're doing all this, I can't take this right now. So the next day when I took it, I didn't even take it. The next day I had he called me. He was like, so what did it say? I said, I'm not pregnant. You don't have to worry about it. Y'all, went to go do what I needed to do, and I don't even know.
If he know?
He doesn't know.
Oh.
He don't know because we don't even know. This was so long ago. I don't know who this man is now. Like, he don't know me. We haven't talked since that even happened. Like, it was a lesson then. So I take it for what it is. Why is she climbing through this window? Also, if I ask for an abortion and you say no, you are now financially responsible. That should be a law because it's your body and I can't control. And you just proved what the
we saying.
What I just said.
Well, we
exactly.
While we saying
Thank
we
you,
made
Darius.
the decision that we made.
Thank you.
Because we saw we didn't have, and we weren't going to put ourselves through that again.
Exactly.
You know, like we both are already at this point we're parents. So it's like now we know how this goes. So now that I know how this goes, and you're telling me you're not going to support me. Oh, okay. Well, let me just check myself real quick and do what I got to do. You know, like, because, yeah, you don't got to put yourself through any struggle.
And I think a lot of women miss that because they think having a child is going to keep a man, and then they want to go try to rape this man for this money, but he didn't ask for this. Yep. Yes, y'all both knew what y'all was doing, but he told you what he wanted, and you didn't want to listen to that because you wanted this baby. And now that you want this baby, you are responsible for this baby. You cannot make this person be responsible for something that they did not want.
I mean, like, and we all understand the repercussions of sex. You know?
Hey.
So.
But it's real. So it's just about, you have to do what's best for you and that child, because in that moment, to me, that is a selfish decision. When you... in most cases, because some people are convicted and they in their minds they like have to
yeah, they
this
can't.
is something that they have to do, so they ain't worried about the other person.
Yeah.
But if you're doing this shit out of spite,
yeah, you setting yourself up for failure.
Man,
you setting yourself up for failure if you having a baby with anybody out of spite. That's a yeah. Man, you gonna that is driving somebody to court. You know, like, and that just I feel for them women and I feel for the men. Man. You know, so. I got my half, and we going to the doctor together because I've seen a lot of women finesse men out of money for. Yeah, I could see that too.
No, I see that.
So I'm gonna go do it. And next thing you know, you see her with this baby. Like, wait a minute, is that? So that's the same. Yeah. We've shared enough. Yeah. We've shared enough. Okay, we done got real vulnerable tonight.
Yeah, and what's so crazy is I think this is the most, although we've had some vulnerable episodes, in all honesty, I think this is the most vulnerable episode because that is something that I never thought I would talk about. But I've been feeling the need to have to say that. And I just didn't know how to go about it. But the fact that card came up, this was just like last week, though.
That's what I'm saying.
Like,
these cards,
this stuff's been coming to my mind, and the
cards,
fact that it's coming out in these cards is really throwing me off.
Shout out to what's his name?
Speak His Truth. Ace Metaphor.
Ace Metaphor. Yeah, shout out to him. He also has the Martin game, which is decent too. Yeah, decent. So these are actually conversation cards for like date night and stuff like that, but we're just using them for here to just get some conversation going. So, well, thank you guys for joining us tonight. We're going to get our laugh on. Thanks for being here. Yeah. Next week is our last episode.
Which is?
The topic is, allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Hove. H to the O-V. Hey.
Snowflakes by the O-Z. Hey. I guess even back there you can call me CEO of the R-O-C-O.
Hey.
In the fire, I'll be the... Let me stop, y'all, because I'll go all day.
Harlem Shake. All right, y'all. We gonna go. Deuces. Peace in the Middle East.